Mr. Sherman Studio.
Hey young leaders, Mr. Sherman here. Today we're going to be going over some science stuff. We have our solar system revolution. And revolution is actually going to be our key word, and we have a little definition up here. It says, revolution is when the Earth moves around the Sun. Every year, as the Earth orbits the Sun, many parts of our planets experience changing seasons. And then it has a little picture down here, and it says, look at the picture. Check the correct answers to complete the sentences below. Okay, so what do we call the movement of Earth around the Sun? Would we call that a rotation or a revolution? What do we call the movement of Earth around the Sun? A rotation or revolution? We could put a check or an X or something like that next to the correct one. It says, one revolution takes about 365 days or 1 year, or one revolution takes about 24 hours or 1 day. You just want to check or X which one you think is correct. And then it says revolution gives us day and night or the seasons. So which one does revolution give us? Does it give us the day and the night or the seasons? Okay, on our next page we're going to be talking about observing the sun, and this is watching the sun as it goes through the sky on a beautiful day. And it has an example here. It goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And see how their sun goes up to the top of the sky and then comes back down? Well, that's what we want to do with our pictures down here. We want to look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 pictures, and we're going to pick which one we think is the first picture of the day. Then and we'll color that one in 1, or put a mark by the 1 on that one. Then the next one, the second one, we'll put it a mark by the 2, the next one a mark by the 3, and so on until we have our pictures here organized the same way that the picture at the top of the page looks. On our next page, we're going to be talking about different types of weather and learning to identify those. And we have read the sentences and decide if they are true or false. Check the correct answers. So here we have a whole week laid out in picture form. And Monday, it doesn't look like it's quite stormy, but it's cloudy and it's gray. Tuesday, it looks like it was real windy. I see leaves flying around, and it looks like that little boy lost his hat. Wednesday, it looks like it was rainy. I see some kids out playing, having fun in the puddles. Thursday, it looks like it was beautiful. It looks like it was like a day at the beach. And Friday, it looks like it was stormy. I see lightning and thunderclouds and rain. Okay, and now we're going to go down. We have 5 questions here, and we want to know if it's true or false. So true would mean if a thing did happen, false if it didn't happen. So for number 1, Monday was sunny. We can look at the picture under Monday and see if that one's true. Was it sunny that day? For Tuesday, was it windy? Was that true or false? Wednesday, was it rainy? Is that true or false? Thursday, was it cloudy? True or false? Friday, was it stormy? True or false? On our next page, we're going to be working on reading thermometers. And it says, look at the thermometer below and trace the dotted lines to find out the temperature. So it has some dotted lines here that we can trace, and it even shows us how we can trace it best to make it look best. It wants us to trace that, and that'll tell us what temperature it is on that thermometer. Okay, and if you'll see right on the right side of all these thermometers, there's little blue lines sticking out. And that tells us what degree it is. We'll start at 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, 5 degree, so on, so on. So for these next 3 down here, it actually wants us to count. Do you see the little red? It wants us to see what line that red's at. So on the first one we can count, it's on the first line. So it would be 1. So we can pick 1 there. For the next 2, I'm going to let you guys figure it out. Count the blue lines up to where the red mark is, and that'll tell you which number to circle next to the thermometer. On our next page, we're talking about different forms of precipitation. Now, precipitation, that's the way that water falls from the clouds back down to the earth, back down to us. It says to look at the look at the pictures of many different forms of precipitation. Then it wants us to read the weather descriptions and check the correct pictures that match. Now first, I want to look at these cool 4 pictures up here. It looks like we have snow over here. It's real light, fluffy, frozen water. Then we have sleet. It looks like that one has snow, ice, and water all mixed up. It's kind of like frozen water, but not really. Then it has rain, and that's just water. That's just water falling down. And over here is hail. And hail, it looks like it's big chunks of ice. It's big hard chunks of ice that falls down. Okay, so let's go down through here. It looks like it has some descriptions of precipitation on the left, and it wants us to pick which type of precipitation on the right matches best. So we'll put a check or an X next to the one that we think matches that description best. So on our first one, we have drops of water falling from the sky. So just plain old drops of water falling from the sky. Would that be rain or hail? Then we have frozen ice balls falling from the sky. Would that be hail or rain? Then we have a mixture of rain and snow falling from the clouds. Would that be snow or sleet? And then our last one, it says ice crystals falling from clouds. Would that sound most like snow or most like rain? Alright, on our next page we're going to be talking about natural resources. And a natural resource is something that is found on Earth and can be used by people. So it's something that isn't man-made. It's something that's already here on the Earth. Something that occurs naturally. And what it wants us to do is look at the pictures below and circle the natural resources. So we have wind, tractor, plants, plastic. Which one of those 4 actually looks like there's a couple, so which one of those are natural resources? Okay, then we have toy, car, soil, rocks, coal. Toy, car, soil, rocks, coal. Which one of those seem like natural resources, things that are just from the earth? There's multiples in that one as well. Then we have umbrella, computer, cake, water. Which one of those are natural? Which one of those are not man-made? Flashlight, oil, animals, coat. Which one of those seem like natural resources? On our next page, we're talking about natural resources and conservation. And it has a big word here. It has scarcity. And a scarcity is whenever there's not enough of something. Say everyone needed a drink of water, but there was only enough for half the people. That would be a scarcity. And you can prevent scarcity and save money when you use less water and energy. This is called conservation. Conservation protects our natural resources. Check the box next to the pictures that show conservation. And then we have some pictures here on the left and right of a young man or a young lady doing something, and it's asking us to decide which one of those is showing the best conservation. So on the first one, we have a young man who is reading a book, but he's reading it by light bulbs and looks like a TV on, stuff like that. Now the young man on the right, he's reading a book with an open window, so he's using the natural light. The young lady on the left in the middle, she is brushing her teeth and she's letting the water run. But the young lady on the right, she's filled up a cup with water so she can use it just as much water as she needs. And then down here we have a young lady who is putting clothes in the dryer. So she's using an electrical dryer and a fan. And then the young lady on the right, she has her clothes out on a line. So she's using air and the sun to dry her clothes. On our next page, we're talking about water scarcity. Now, water is a very important resource. Some people do not have enough water where they live. This is called scarcity. Draw a line to the picture that shows the effects of water scarcity. So what it wants us to do, it wants us to look at the thing in the middle and imagine if they didn't have enough of that, what would happen? So if we didn't have enough water, would our plants grow big and tall, or would they be wilted and dry? And if we didn't have enough rain, would we have nice full lakes and big green trees, or would it be a dry little puddle and dead trees and things? If there wasn't enough water on the lawns, would they be fresh, bright and green, or would they be dry and brown? And if we didn't have enough clean, fresh water, would there be enough water to drink, or would there not be enough water to drink? On our next page, we're talking about a plant's life cycle, and it wants you to put the life cycle of a plant in order. We're going to circle the stage number next to each picture. So for our first picture, we have a seed. Someone's planting a seed. The second picture, we have a plant and it has flowers on it. For the third picture, we have a plant that just has little buds on it. And for the fourth picture, it's a plant that's just a little seedling and it's just getting water. And it wants you to go through and put those in order. You see next to each picture there are numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and it wants you to X or check the box that you think would be the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. And you'll mark those by checking the 1, the 2, the 3, or the 4. And our last page actually talks about photosynthesis. And it asks, what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is the way that plants make their own food. And says we can look at the picture below. It shows photosynthesis. Answer the questions below. So we can see that the sun, or the plants down here, it's using water that it gets from the earth with its roots, and it's using sunlight that it's gathering up with its leaves, and carbon dioxide that it gathers up with its leaves and trunk, and then it breathes out oxygen. So it breathes in carbon dioxide, and it uses sunlight to use that carbon dioxide and water to make oxygen, and it breathes it out. And of course, it's what we breathe in, and we breathe out carbon dioxide. So we breathe out what the trees need, they breathe out what we need. Okay, down below it asks, what do plants need to make food? Do they need sunlight, carbon dioxide, and oxygen? Do they need sunlight, oxygen, and water? Or do they need sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water? Then it asks, what is released from the leaves into the atmosphere? Is it sunlight, oxygen, water, or carbon dioxide? That actually brings us to the end of this video. Thank you guys for sticking through another one with me. I'll see you with the next one. Have a good one.